Hey everyone, somebody posted a video about the lunge press or split stance press, however you want to call it, and is willing to accept some feedback. So here's my feedback on and some tips that I give when I instruct this pressing position. So let me demonstrate what it looks like first. I have a dumbbell here, and I also have a kettlebell, and I also have a pad. So these are the three things that you need to gather around you for the best instruction. So the first thing is I'm going to do a press on the down leg so you can get an idea of what this press looks like. And then I'm going to switch arms, go to the other side. So this is the movement that we're talking about. A lot of benefits here to pressing in this position. Number one, it's a different posture. So a lot of students will press in the symmetrical stance because that's what's most comfortable. But when you get somebody in the kneeling position or even tall kneeling, which is like this with two knees on the ground, you eliminate the lower body a little bit and it makes you use your core more. Now, a couple things to look for when executing this. Number one is you want to make sure that your back foot, all right, your back foot is not extended across like this. So if it's not straight into a lunge and you take that back leg, and notice how I sweep it to the left a little bit, it's much easier to press from that position, okay? So it's almost like you're using that as a crutch in a way. So you want to get rid of that. Getting rid of this is going to make the press much harder because now your core has to figure out how to stabilize. When you bring this back leg over, essentially what you're doing is you're taking all the work away from the core and you're putting it onto the leg, all right? So the reason why I have this pad here is because, again, a lot of people will press on a surface that really bothers the knee. And so why put yourself in that position? Because all you're going to be thinking about is what's going on in the knee. You're not going to think about the actual movement. So get something that's comfortable. And this is a really nice pad that is made for kneeling positions like this. So as soon as I get into this position, I immediately now can focus on my press. And I don't have to worry about what's going on in the knee. And from this angle, if you can see, I want to make sure that my back leg is straight. I'm tucking my toe. My front leg is in front of me at a 90-degree angle. And essentially, I am hip width right now. So in this position, when I press, I'm going to already set myself up so that my core has to work more instead of pulling that leg across the back here. So be mindful of that when you're doing this. The other thing that you can play around with is not necessarily the weight, but what I can do to make this a little bit more challenging for my core is I can bring this front leg over towards midline a little bit. So what I'm doing is I'm closing the gap here, and that's going to challenge my press. So I don't have to go super heavy with the press. I can use a weight that's, 40–50% of my max, and I can press from this position just by narrowing that base a little bit. It really does challenge the core. So this is a great position to press from as long as you're not using that back leg as a crutch, okay? So straighten that out. Now, the other thing, and this goes for just lunging in general, is that a lot of students tend to lean their weight to the front leg, especially when they're pressing. So what I like to do is once I get established in this position, I'll lift this front leg up a little bit, and what that does is it transfers weight to the back of my leg, my back leg. And it also, if you notice, and I'm going to try to do this at an angle so you can see this, when I'm here and I'm leaning this way, I have put all my pressure on this leg, but if I lift this leg, what do I have to do? I have to transfer weight back over the hip, over the knee, and use this back leg more, which is what I really want when I'm in my pressing position, and also what I want when I'm doing my lunge. So I want to use that back leg more. So just lift that leg up before you start your pressing, and that'll shift weight back to that leg, and you'll feel, the press will feel completely different. So the other thing, I brought a dumbbell here because it's a different tool to use, and it's obviously very popular, but a lot of people don't think about pressing in this position with a dumbbell. So why would I use a dumbbell over a kettlebell? Well, it's a different tool and it reacts different to the body. So the dumbbell, if you think about it, when you grip a dumbbell, you need constant tension. You can't relax the hand like you can in a kettlebell when you're using a dumbbell. Now, what's the advantage and disadvantage of that? Well, think about it for a second. If I'm trying to press in this position, if I'm doing any kind of pressing, I don't necessarily want my grip to be relaxed. All right, I want to grip that kettlebell handle because I want that rotator cuff to turn on, and I want all the muscles that I want from the tricep to bicep, everything to turn on when I'm pressing, right? What I see is that when students are using a kettlebell, they're open the hand when they press, which really defeats the purpose of what you're trying to do. So if I use a dumbbell, now I can't open my hand, and now my press becomes much harder. Now, this is a 30-pound dumbbell, and this is a 16-kilo kettlebell. So it's similar, off about 5 pounds, but it's similar. Now, what you're going to notice, and what's really cool about this, is that this dumbbell feels heavier than the 16-kilo because it's symmetrical on both sides, and it has a lot to do more with the wrist position. So I have to really control the wrist when I'm using a dumbbell, and I have to have constant tension. So kettlebell, sometimes it allows the student to relax a little bit, and I don't want to teach that. I want to teach constant tension when I'm pressing. So throw in the dumbbell, especially in the split stance and especially in the tall kneeling stance. And I think that between that and lifting this front leg to get everything stacked and straightening that back leg, I think you're going to find you're going to get a lot more out of this exercise than you were normally.